all roads lead to the Annika Pro-Am. Trust me, all roads, all cameras, all people will be tuned in for the Annika Pro-Am. Why? To see the GOAT, Caitlin Clark, take over the show. We have it here.
Has the WNBA learned absolutely nothing? Because it seems like we're caught in a bizarre, frustrating loop, watching history repeat itself with the league's biggest star, Caitlin Clark. Just when you thought the drama surrounding her couldn't get any more intense, she once again managed to dominate headlines. But this time, it wasn't with a record-breaking three-pointer or a game-winning assist.
Here, Caitlin Clark will compete in the Annika Pro-Am. This is gonna be fire. Y'all know she set the whole golf world on fire last year, had everybody tuned in. The ratings jumped up.
No, her latest headline-grabbing moment didn't happen on the basketball court at all. Instead, it unfolded on the manicured greens of a prestigious golf course, sparking a fresh wave of controversy and exposing some glaring issues within women's professional sports. The LPGA, astute and strategic, extended a high-profile invitation to Clark for one of their major Pro-Am events, a move that predictably sent shockwaves through the WNBA. While the golf world celebrated the star power, the basketball establishment seemed to descend into a familiar state of disarray and outright panic.
Next on the tee, Caitlin Clark.
The fallout was instantaneous and explosive. Angel Reese, a prominent figure and rival, was reportedly far from thrilled, and social media platforms immediately erupted into a furious debate. Fans, bewildered and frustrated, began asking the pointed question, how did the LPGA manage to leverage Caitlin Clark's star power to uplift women's sports so much more effectively than the WNBA itself?
I wanted to come say hi and introduce myself. I play out here on tour. I'm Maria. Thank you for being out here. It's very cool what you're doing for sports, kicking ass.
This raises a crucial question that we need to dissect. Why does it consistently appear that the WNBA, as an organization, becomes visibly agitated or even panics whenever Caitlin Clark achieves success or garners significant attention outside of their direct control? Let's dive straight into the shocking details and uncover the stark contrast in approaches.
And here's the Caitlin Clark effect, Morgan, with Maria Fossey and other players out here following.
That's good.
A lot of fun. Made it easy.
Annika, could I steal you for a second? I don't think I'll have like bigger, I can't say bad stuff on TV, but badasses once together. We're doing a fun, like,
Get on that side.
there we go. Yeah.
I'm next.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Hi,
Allie.
Caitlin.
Nice to meet you.
I said it, the buzz from the players
Over here, so I'm distracting you.
for
No,
weeks
y'all are trying to get
has
finished.
been huge.
Somebody take this picture?
By the way, Allie, an outstanding
let's do
point
it.
guard in her own right in
ladies,
Fulton,
you got 3, 2,
Mississippi.
1. Hang tight.
All-state.
Thanks for being here. Yeah. Good luck.
What became abundantly clear from the outset was that the LPGA leadership understood the immense value of their invitation. They weren't just hosting a celebrity, they were orchestrating a masterclass in strategic marketing and engagement. On the surface, Pro-Am golf events seem like a straightforward concept. Pair professional golfers with celebrities or amateurs to generate some lighthearted buzz and create a fun atmosphere. It's usually a low-stakes affair designed for entertainment and a bit of media coverage. However, the presence of Caitlin Clark didn't just generate some buzz. What transpired next was an unprecedented phenomenon that far exceeded even the most optimistic expectations of the organizers, turning a routine event into a global spectacle. The event exploded into an absolute media frenzy, transforming the golf course into something akin to a championship basketball game. Fans, hungry for a glimpse of Clark, poured in by the thousands, creating crowds reminiscent of a Final Four atmosphere. Every single hole was surrounded by a dense throng of spectators, and reporters from every major outlet scrambled to capture the moment, utterly astonished by the turnout. Crucially, this wasn't just existing golf enthusiasts showing up. Clark's magnetic appeal transcended traditional sports boundaries. Suddenly, people who had never shown an ounce of interest in women's golf were not only talking about it, but actively seeking out coverage, proving her undeniable ability to draw in new audiences. And this is precisely the kind of overwhelming positive attention that appears to send certain factions within the WNBA into a tailspin, seemingly unable to process or capitalize on such a monumental opportunity. While the LPGA embraced Caitlin Clark like royalty, rolling out the red carpet and celebrating her unprecedented star power, the WNBA, in stark contrast, seemed to recoil, adopting an almost sour, resentified posture, as if her success elsewhere was a personal affront. The LPGA didn't merely secure a celebrity guest, they landed an unparalleled once-in-a-generation marketing goldmine, and to their credit, they understood its immense value. They weren't just going to let this opportunity pass by, they meticulously planned to milk every single ounce of publicity and positive exposure from it. Their strategy was brilliant in its simplicity and effectiveness. They paired Clark with Nelly Korda, the undisputed #1 golfer in the world. This wasn't just a random pairing, it was a carefully curated dream duo, designed to maximize appeal and create an irresistible narrative. The imagery was pure marketing genius. Caitlin Clark, known for her incredible basketball prowess, confidently swinging a golf club, with the world's best golfer, Nelly Korda, enthusiastically cheering her on. It was an iconic visual, radiating positivity and mutual respect, a public relations triumph. Unsurprisingly, the photographs and video clips from their pairing didn't just get shared, they exploded across every social media platform, going viral within mere hours and reaching millions of eyeballs worldwide. Yet, amidst this overwhelming success and cross-sport celebration, a familiar, unsettling undercurrent of drama began to surface, pulling us back into the contentious world of the WNBA. Because while the golf world was basking in the glow of Caitlin Clark's star power, the mood back within certain circles of the WNBA was anything but cheerful. In fact, it was reportedly quite the opposite. As the LPGA celebrated a monumental win in visibility and fan engagement, the usual suspects within the WNBA camp were predictably preparing their own, less celebratory responses. Reports quickly surfaced that Angel Reese, seemingly unable to resist, took to her social media accounts to subtly, yet undeniably, throw shade. She was reportedly liking and reposting comments that disparaged overrated media favorites and athletes who supposedly can't just stay in their lanes, thinly veiled jabs that left little to the imagination regarding their intended target. Fans, with their keen understanding of the ongoing dynamics, instantly recognize the target of these veiled criticisms. It's become an almost absurd pattern. It feels as though every time Caitlin Clark so much as breathes asterisk or achieves success, someone within the WNBA establishment or among her rivals feels compelled to take it as a personal affront, fueling an endless cycle of perceived resentment. And this is where the stark, almost unbelievable, contrast truly emerges. The LPGA did not view Caitlin Clark as a threat or competition to their sport. Their perspective was fundamentally different and refreshingly progressive. Instead, they recognized her as an unparalleled opportunity, a powerful asset capable of elevating all women's sports, including their own. They treated her with the respect and admiration due to a generational talent, understanding the immense value she brought. Meanwhile, a segment of the WNBA continues to treat Clark not as a rising tide that lifts all boats, but as a direct rival for attention, a perceived threat to their established order. It's baffling, really. You would think by now, after witnessing the unprecedented surge in viewership, ticket sales, merchandise, and media buzz she consistently generates, they would have finally learned that she is an undeniable force for positive growth, bringing in fans, money, soaring ratings, and invaluable headlines. It creates a truly perplexing situation where, it seems, Caitlin Clark simply cannot win. If she plays well, she's overhyped. If she brings attention to another sport, she's not staying in her lane. The narrative is constantly shifted to diminish her impact or criticize her presence. From the LPGA's perspective, the sentiment was overwhelmingly positive. They lauded her as a breath of fresh air, a vibrant new energy that invigorated their entire event and community. They openly acknowledged that her presence infused the entire event with an undeniable surge of energy and palpable excitement, drawing in new eyes and creating a memorable experience for everyone involved. Meanwhile, from the WNBA, in the face of this undeniable, universally celebrated moment of cross-sport triumph for a women's athlete, the official positive reaction was quite frankly a resounding zero. A deafening silence, or worse, thinly veiled negativity, leaving many to wonder about the league's true priorities. Fans immediately took notice of this glaring disparity, flooding the WNBA's official social media pages with a wave of indignant comments. They passionately questioned the league's silence, asking pointedly, why can golf celebrate her, but not you? Others chimed in, highlighting the stark contrast by exclaiming, the LPGA just showed y'all how to market a star. The collective sentiment was clear. The WNBA's inaction was not just a missed opportunity, but a perceived slight, especially when another major sports league was so enthusiastically embracing the very athlete the WNBA seemed hesitant to fully champion. Angel Reese, a prominent figure in her own right, quickly entered the conversation as this dynamic unfolded. It appears that when the WNBA chooses to remain conspicuously silent or seemingly indifferent to a burgeoning phenomenon, other players are often quick to fill that void, sometimes with their own strong, albeit complex, reactions. This creates a fascinating and often tense internal narrative within the league, where perceptions of favoritism and spotlight allocation become hotly debated topics, both publicly and behind the scenes. Sources close to Angel Reese have indicated that she has grown increasingly frustrated by the sheer volume of attention showered upon Caitlin Clark, feeling that the league disproportionately focuses its marketing efforts and narrative on a single player. Her sentiments aren't entirely kept under wraps. She has reportedly liked tweets that openly label the Clark effect and the surrounding golf hype as nothing more than media favoritism. Furthermore, in a moment that quickly went viral, she even commented LOL under one of the most widely shared clips from Caitlin's memorable LPGA day, a subtle yet undeniably pointed gesture that speaks volumes about her perspective. This seemingly subtle act of throwing shade on social media presents a profound and almost poetic irony. While Angel Reese was seemingly preoccupied with expressing her discontent, Caitlin Clark was, quite literally, out on the golf course doing precisely what the WNBA as an organization should have been doing, expanding the audience, capturing new viewers, and generating unprecedented buzz for women's sports as a whole. It's a striking contrast between internal friction and external growth, where one player's actions inadvertently served as a masterclass in market expansion. The LPGA, on the other hand, demonstrated an immediate and almost intuitive understanding of Caitlin Clark's immense power as a draw. They didn't perceive her as a distraction or a threat to their established stars. Instead, they recognized her as an unparalleled opportunity. This strategic foresight instantly translated into tangible results, drawing thousands upon thousands of new fans to women's golf, many of whom had never shown interest before. The initial plan was not even to televise the event, but the sheer overwhelming demand from fans, who bombarded the LPGA with requests to see Clark play, forced them to pivot. In an unprecedented move, the LPGA actually changed its plans, ensuring the event was broadcast, effectively transforming a casual appearance into one of the best publicity weeks women's golf has ever witnessed, all because they had the wisdom and courage to say a resounding yes to Caitlin Clark. Now let's starkly contrast this with the WNBA's reaction when Caitlin Clark steps onto the court and single-handedly boosts ratings, drawing legions of new viewers. It often seems as though a significant portion of the league, perhaps half, reacts as if she has somehow stolen something. When she shatters viewership records, some players are quick to publicly declare it's not just about her, a sentiment that, while technically true in a team sport, conveniently overlooks the undeniable fact that she is the reason so many new eyes are watching. This is the uncomfortable, inconvenient truth that far too many within the WNBA appear unwilling or unable to confront. The LPGA, with remarkable clarity, grasped this fundamental principle instantly. Their message was clear: we can share the spotlight. They didn't succumb to insecurity or perceived competition. Instead, they wholeheartedly welcomed her, actively promoted her involvement, and strategically leveraged her undeniable star power to grow their entire sport. This calculated and collaborative approach is precisely what defines smart, forward-thinking organizations, demonstrating a mature understanding of how to capitalize on a unique moment for collective benefit. Meanwhile, the WNBA's posture often regrettably resembles that one coworker who gets inexplicably upset and resentful when you simply do your job exceptionally well. This internal friction, this perceived resistance to a rising tide, is precisely why this entire situation exploded online, becoming a viral sensation and a major talking point across social media platforms and sports news outlets. The optics of internal discord overshadowing external success are never good, and fans were quick to pick up on the underlying tension. The contrast was stark and frankly embarrassing for the WNBA. On one hand, Caitlin Clark was being cheered by thousands of enthusiastic new fans at a golf event, celebrated and embraced by an entirely different sport. On the other, her own league couldn't even manage a simple public congratulation. It was almost as if golf, of all sports, had inadvertently given the WNBA a free public masterclass in how to effectively promote women's athletes and capitalize on a transcendent talent. Instead of seeing it as a win for women's sports overall, a significant portion of the WNBA community, or at least its most vocal elements, regrettably chose to make it personal, a decision that has frankly defined much of the season's narrative. Indeed, this pattern of interpersonal drama overshadowing broader success has been a recurring theme throughout the entire year. Angel Reese's very public, often one-sided rivalry with Caitlin Clark has consistently ranked as one of the WNBA's biggest storylines, a narrative thread that stretches all the way back to their college days. What's striking, however, is Clark's unwavering response. She has never publicly said anything negative against Angel, nor does she engage with the incessant noise surrounding the supposed rivalry. Caitlin Clark simply keeps rising, and she does it quietly, without drama, without taking cheap shots, and with an unwavering focus purely on results. This stoic dedication to her craft is evident even when she effortlessly steps into another sport, like golf, and still manages to command attention and drive unprecedented interest. Yet, here's the truly perplexing part of this entire saga. While the fans adored her, the media gave her unprecedented coverage, and the entire sporting world buzzed with excitement, there was a glaring silence from the very people who should have been celebrating her loudest. It was a bizarre disconnect, almost as if the WNBA, a league seemingly desperate for mainstream attention and viewership, suddenly viewed this monumental influx of interest as an inconvenient problem rather than a golden opportunity. The irony was palpable. A league that has historically struggled for visibility was now in the face of its biggest star generating unparalleled buzz, acting as if the spotlight was somehow unwelcome, or worse still, undeserved. What makes this situation even more baffling is the stark contrast presented by another major sporting organization. While the WNBA appeared to be internally debating how to handle the Caitlin Clark effect, the LPGA, a league that also seeks to expand its audience, embraced her with open arms. They weren't just hinting at her presence or posting subtle memes, they were treating Caitlin Clark like the long-lost, highly anticipated sister of a legend like Tiger Woods, recognizing her immense cross-sport appeal and the immediate, undeniable impact she could have on their own viewership and engagement. It was a masterclass in recognizing an opportunity that the WNBA, for reasons still debated and deeply controversial, seemed to be entirely missing. Indeed, the LPGA's strategic brilliance lay in understanding a fundamental truth. Caitlin Clark isn't siphoning attention away from anyone. She's a magnet, drawing new eyes, new conversations, and new fans to everyone in her orbit. This insightful perspective allowed golf, a sport that has openly acknowledged its struggle to captivate younger demographics and broaden its appeal beyond traditional enthusiasts, to simply say thank you very much and instantly transform her brief appearance into pure gold. They recognized the immense value of her star power and without hesitation leveraged it to invigorate their own brand and reach an audience they'd long been striving to connect with. This is precisely where the plot thickens and the controversy truly began to ignite. Following Caitlin Clark's much-anticipated golf debut, which predictably went viral across every major sports platform, the comment sections exploded into an immediate digital battlefield. On one side, LPGA fans were utterly captivated, showering her with praise, while seasoned golf players themselves were commending her natural talent and infectious energy. However, on the other side, the usual vocal corners of WNBA Twitter and certain media personalities absolutely lost their collective composure, unleashing a torrent of negativity and thinly veiled resentment. You could practically taste the bitterness radiating from their posts, creating a stark and uncomfortable divide in the online discourse. What intensified this already heated debate was the revelation surrounding Angel Reese's reaction, which immediately became a major talking point. According to various insiders and widely circulated rumors, Reese was reportedly quite annoyed by the sheer volume of views and engagement Caitlin's golf video was garnering, especially when compared to virtually anything emerging from the WNBA offseason. This perceived slight manifested publicly when Reese notably liked a social media post that rather pointedly suggested Caitlin Clark should be focusing on her jumper, not her putter. Fans, ever vigilant, instantly screenshotted the interaction, and the internet, as it always does, erupted into a furious debate, mocking the perceived irony and the apparent jealousy. Comments flooded in, with many remarking on the seeming allergy to Caitlin's success, questioning why Reese couldn't celebrate a fellow athlete's broader appeal, especially when Clark was simply golfing, not directly competing or stealing anyone's spotlight. The glaring contrast in how the two leagues handled Clark's burgeoning multi-sport presence couldn't have been more stark. While the WNBA remained conspicuously silent, the LPGA viewed Caitlin's involvement not as an encroachment, but as an undeniable gift. Their official social media pages were a masterclass in positive promotion, repeatedly posting clips of her golf swings and interactions, often accompanied by enthusiastic captions such as, "Basketball star Caitlin Clark brings her energy to the fairway," or "Caitlin Clark proved she can shine anywhere." Every single post from the LPGA was brimming with positivity and excitement, fostering an environment where even golf fans were actively expressing desires for her to return and play again the following year, recognizing the mutual benefit of her star power. Meanwhile, the WNBA's main official accounts maintained an almost deafening silence. There was no public acknowledgement, no congratulatory message, no celebratory post, absolutely nothing. It was as if the league was actively allergic to the immense wave of positive publicity and cross-sport interest that their biggest new star was generating. This inexplicable silence infuriated fans, who quickly took to social media, tagging the WNBA in LPGA posts and demanding answers. They rightfully questioned the league's strategy, writing comments like, "You realize this is the same player giving you record-breaking ratings, right? And why can't you celebrate her like golf does?" And honestly, as anyone paying attention would agree, that is a profoundly fair question that continues to echo through the sports world, leaving many to wonder about the true motivations behind the WNBA's controversial approach. What do you think about this whole situation? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the untold stories of sports. When Caitlin Clark trends, women's sports asterisk trend. Asterisk. It's an undeniable, almost magnetic force. Every time her name lights up social media or a highlight reel goes viral, it pulls in a fresh wave of eyeballs, not just to her, but to the entire ecosystem of female athletics. Her unprecedented attention isn't just about one player, it's a rising tide that should by all accounts lift asterisk all asterisk boats, drawing more people to watch, engage, and invest in women's sports across the board, creating a powerful, collective momentum that every athlete and league should be eager to harness. Angel Reese's widely publicized reactions serve as a poignant, if not perplexing, example of this short-sightedness. Instead of strategically leveraging Caitlin's immense spotlight to amplify her own burgeoning brand in the WNBA as a whole, her responses have often been perceived as intensely personal, fueled by competitive animosity rather than a shared vision for growth. This isn't about individual rivalry on the court, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of the commercial landscape. In the world of professional sports, popularity translates directly into profit, sponsorships, and viewership. It's not personal, it's undeniably business, and a missed opportunity when that distinction is blurred. Contrast this startling approach with the LPGA, which demonstrated an astute understanding of this very dynamic. Far from exhibiting insecurity or resentment, they recognized an unparalleled marketing opportunity when Caitlin Clark expressed interest in their sport. They didn't care that she was primarily a basketball star. What mattered was her undeniable ability to attract new fans and inject a jolt of excitement into women's golf. And she did, spectacularly. The crowd at that LPGA event was not just massive, it was a roaring, unprecedented spectacle. People were shouting, "Let's go, Caitlin!" proudly waving signs and astonishingly, even wearing Indiana Fever jerseys on a golf course. When in the history of women's golf has anyone witnessed that kind of electrifying energy and cross-sport solidarity? The LPGA ingeniously transformed a single event into a viral sensation, a masterclass in modern sports marketing. Sponsors were thrilled, media outlets provided extensive coverage, and the benefits rippled across the entire sport. Yet, the truly remarkable aspect was Caitlin herself. She wasn't attempting to steal anyone's thunder or bask solely in personal glory. Her demeanor was consistently polite, genuinely funny, and refreshingly humble. She laughed off her own less-than-perfect swings, high-fived her caddy with genuine enthusiasm, and graciously took selfies with countless fans. In every interaction, people didn't perceive arrogance. They witnessed an authentic, relatable superstar who was simply enjoying the moment and sharing it generously. Now let's starkly compare that invigorating energy with the palpable tension often felt within the WNBA. Instead of cultivating an atmosphere of mutual celebration and collective triumph, there's an undeniable undercurrent of friction, with many players opting for subtle digs and thinly veiled criticisms rather than unified support. It's as if Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise has inadvertently exposed a deeper, more troubling divide within the league, a stark chasm between embracing exponential growth and succumbing to the corrosive effects of individual jealousy. This isn't just about differing opinions, it's about two fundamentally opposing philosophies for the future of women's professional basketball. The LPGA offered a compelling blueprint for what happens when you wholeheartedly welcome change and embrace new avenues for growth. Conversely, the WNBA, through its often resistant stance, has inadvertently showcased the pitfalls of clinging to the status quo. This fundamental difference is precisely why fans are increasingly siding with Caitlin. They perceive her as a genuine advocate, someone who demonstrably wants all women's sports to thrive. She's not just playing basketball, she's actively participated in golf events, vocally cheered for women's soccer, and consistently praised female athletes across various fields. Her broad, unwavering support for the entire female athletic community speaks volumes. Caitlin has consistently voiced her desire for everyone to succeed, yet with frustrating regularity, every time she steps outside the realm of basketball, someone within the WNBA seems compelled to throw unwarranted shade. Frankly, this constant negativity is becoming tiresome, and fans are growing weary of the incessant drama. They don't want petty squabbles, they demand progress. If a sport like golf, yes, *golf*, can figure out how to make Caitlin Clark's presence not just exciting, but incredibly profitable, then what conceivable excuse does the WNBA have for its apparent inability to do the same? The contrast is glaring. The LPGA literally handed the WNBA a clear, actionable blueprint for leveraging a generational talent to elevate an entire sport. Yet, with a perplexing lack of foresight, the WNBA has often reacted as if acknowledging Caitlin's unprecedented popularity would somehow be unfair or diminish the achievements of everyone else. This perspective is not only counterproductive, but fundamentally misunderstands the dynamics of superstardom. Historically, when iconic figures like Michael Jordan ascended to global fame, the NBA didn't complain. They strategically built an entire empire around his magnetic presence. When Serena Williams dominated the world of tennis, the WTA didn't ignore her. They championed her as a living legend, promoting her as the face of the sport. But in the WNBA, it feels like the exact opposite. There's a palpable nervousness, an almost defensive posture that intensifies with every new level of success Caitlin achieves, and that unequivocally is why the LPGA's resounding success with Caitlin Clark is hitting such an uncomfortable nerve within the WNBA. The real controversy isn't Caitlin Clark herself, but rather the baffling way the WNBA has chosen to handle her meteoric rise. Instead of embracing the unprecedented spotlight she brings, the league seems to be fumbling the ball, creating an environment where her success is viewed as a threat rather than a shared opportunity. This short-sighted approach is costing them dearly, not just in public perception, but potentially in future growth and revenue, as other leagues are already demonstrating how to capitalize on the Caitlin effect. Angel Reese's often fiery reactions and outspoken critiques, while framed as individual rivalries, are arguably a direct reflection of this underlying insecurity that permeates the WNBA. It's a palpable tension, born from the undeniable truth that Caitlin Clark is everywhere, dominating highlight reels, gracing magazine covers, leading interviews, and starring in high-profile commercials. This constant visibility, instead of being celebrated as a win for women's basketball as a whole, appears to fuel a perceived zero-sum game mentality, where one player's gain is seen as another's loss, fostering an environment ripe for conflict and resentment. But here's the uncomfortable truth that many are unwilling to confront. If players like Angel Reese redirected that intense energy and focus from perceived slights and personal ego to elevating their own game and collaborating for the greater good of the league, the entire landscape of women's basketball could be transformed. The WNBA and its stars are missing a crucial lesson in shared prosperity, a lesson vividly illustrated by another professional women's sports league that understood the assignment without hesitation. Consider the striking example of the LPGA, which recently demonstrated a masterclass in shared success, proving unequivocally that collaboration and the embracing of newfound attention works wonders. When Caitlin Clark made an appearance at the Mizuho Americas Open, she didn't diminish the spotlight on golf sensation Nelly Korda. She amplified it. Her presence didn't steal attention. It added an entirely new layer of viewership and public interest, drawing in a demographic that might never have tuned into a golf tournament before. This is precisely how genuine collaboration functions, creating a rising tide that lifts all boats. Yet, in stark contrast, the WNBA seems determined to play defense against its own burgeoning stars, particularly the one who is single-handedly driving unprecedented viewership and engagement. It's a baffling strategy that has led even casual sports fans, those outside the traditional basketball sphere, to observe in disbelief that professional golf of all sports appears to be supporting and marketing Caitlin Clark more effectively than her very own league. This is the troubling reputation rapidly solidifying around the WNBA, and if they fail to course correct, they risk alienating their rapidly expanding fan base, pushing them towards other sports and leagues that understand the value of embracing, not resisting, superstar power. This situation serves as a stark warning. Fans are fiercely loyal, but that loyalty is earned through celebration and genuine connection. They will inevitably gravitate towards the leagues and athletes who reciprocate that enthusiasm, who welcome new audiences, and who foster an atmosphere of positive growth. Right now, on that critical front, the WNBA is falling conspicuously short. In an almost unbelievable turn of events, the LPGA is out-marketing professional basketball, all because they had the foresight and business acumen to simply let Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark, allowing her authentic charm, her massive fan base, and her unique brand to flourish freely within their sport. The LPGA's approach was a masterclass in strategic thinking. No petty jealousy, no manufactured side drama, just intelligent business. They understood the power of the Caitlin effect and leveraged it to their advantage, recognizing a golden opportunity rather than a competitive threat. And make no mistake, this won't be the last time another league or major event seeks to borrow the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. She's poised to receive invites to soccer matches, high-profile celebrity events, and perhaps even tennis tournaments next. Every single league that extends a welcoming hand to her stands to win immensely, while the league that continues to ignore or actively resist her influence will inevitably keep losing ground, relevance, and most importantly, fans. The undeniable truth is that Caitlin Clark has transcended the sport of basketball itself. She's no longer just a player, she's a powerful brand, a cultural connector, and a living symbol of how women's sports should operate in the modern era. When she wins, the entire ecosystem of women's athletics benefits. The LPGA didn't waste precious time debating fairness or internal politics. They recognized immense value, acted decisively, and reaped the rewards. Meanwhile, the WNBA continues to grapple with negative headlines, constantly trending for all the wrong reasons. Perhaps it's time for some individuals to put down their phones, stop taking things so personally, and realize that genuine collaboration, especially off the court, will always triumph over internal competition. After all, right now, Caitlin Clark is living rent-free in the heads of half the league and still cashing more brand deals than all of them combined. So tell us, did Angel Reese overreact in her public displays, or is the WNBA as a whole simply jealous of Caitlin Clark's unprecedented success and the attention she commands? Drop your unfiltered thoughts in the comments below, and if you agree that the LPGA just delivered a masterclass in marketing that the WNBA desperately needs to learn from, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell, because we're here to break down every single sports meltdown and surprising triumph that happens next.